Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. I'm M.A. Truth, and I hope that all is well with you and your soul. Well, what can we say? What can we say? Numbnuts is at it again. He's never stopped. This man believes in confusion and chaos, and it surrounds him constantly because he has a childlike mind. So he's not focused on anything. He's a child, and there with that childlike mind, we just went here, we're over there, we're over here, we're over there, and we know absolutely nothing of any substance about any one thing. I'm sure he knows that he's an ass. More than confident in making that statement. Purpose of my coming on today was simply to we do what we do, right? We do what we do. Hold on. Here it come. Mm-hmm. A wise woman once said, "Fuck this shit," and she lived happily ever after. Ha ha. Keep that in mind. And whereas it is, this is B Monday. That's Tuesday. What's this one? Can't even see that. You have to be on one of these that I can read. Hold on. It's coming, it's coming. Ah, I'm off today, but in any case, motherfucking Monday. Mhm. It's just another day in this environment that we find ourselves in. I want to talk to y'all about student loans and Social Security, shit like that, stuff that affects me. Yes, I still have student loans. I have paid here and there when I could, dropped a coin here and there. Have not been consistent because, be frank about it, my jobs have never been consistent. My employment has never been consistent. The last actual functioning job that I had been on for a number of years, the benefit of the pension that would come with me completing that last year of qualification was snatched away from me by a outside company that came in and bought the uh, the entity that I worked for at the time, putting my ass on the street from an employment standpoint. I was told that I could take the offer and not sue these people, and then I could still get my unemployment. Otherwise, if I challenged them, I could stand the very realistic chance from their viewpoint of being butt fucked with no grease, which was happening anyway, and just being out of work. This society does not value its elders. This society thinks of those who a little gray on the top, few years on, are worthless. When statistically that has been proven to be wrong. Most of your senior workers, and for those of you who listen, are HR managers or work in HR, you've got the stats and you know and you recognize the fact that there is age discrimination, plain and simple. My resume reads like a grand novel, okay, because of the experience that I have and this piece of paper that I got well after I had gotten most of the experience. I'm considered to be, you ready for it? Qualified. I, more overqualified. Well, you're right. I know more than most of y'all, but in any case, for the purpose of this video, that's fucked up. Overqualified. Can't get a decent paying job because you're overqualified. Overqualified, and oh, well, let us not forget to mention this. Yes. Overqualified, y'all, overqualified. So when I got booted out of my job, technically laid off, which was bullshit. I was at the top of the economical food chain for my position, and I was amongst the older ones there at that job. My position was not that of a director because there were a couple of those that were older than me. I was 62 at the time, and from that day forward, um, it's been hard. It's been extremely challenging. However, I am like the great Maya Angelou, who said, "And yet we rise." So I started collecting Social Security at that age. Get a job. Got to have Social Security. Got to have some kind of income. Um, and then the unemployment. It just wasn't enough money, y'all. It was not enough money. Okay. Um, so subsequent to all of that, shit happened, and I did find other jobs, but they weren't paying anything. So with that being the effect of a company coming in and snatching your job away from you, between that and money over the years that were hit and miss, I did attempt in my 40s at that to to get higher education, to get the paper. You know, they tell you get that paper, and you'll be just fine. So I went and I got the paper. At my 40 years, I made the dean's list every year till I graduated. Yeah, I still got it going on. Point is that those student loans were beneficial for me for many reasons. It not only allowed me to go to a prestigious university, that money came in handy when I had to buy school clothes for my babies. That money came in handy when I had to get my car fixed, if I had a car at that time. However, it wasn't the principal that's kicking my ass, it's the interest. That's why I said the Department of Education has pretty much butt fucked all of us who have gotten student loans with no grease because of the interest rate. It's not the principal of the loan that's a detriment. It's the principal. How do you start off? I saw a clip from one young lady. She says, and she showed the paperwork, her paperwork, and she said, "I got a $60,000 loan to go to college, but the interest is 35,000. How is that possible?" Good question. I looked at mine. It's jacked up. Can I pay it? With what? What am I supposed to pay it with? We're barely, like on the like this, hanging on, y'all, hanging on. And this orange motherfucker wants to bring about the demise of everybody by making these threats that the Department of Education is going to resume their practices of going after people for these student loans that they're not able to pay, that they've defaulted on. So, in line with that, is that they've said, you know what happens if you default on a loan. They're supposed to notify you, blah 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 blah. Well, considering what we're dealing with here, that may or may not happen. More than likely not. But they're going after your wages. You're going to garnish your wages. And if your ass is old like mine and you still have student loans, they're coming after our Social Security. What the fuck? Seriously. What the fuck? Social Security ain't but $1,200 a month. A month. You're supposed to pay rent, buy groceries, see the doctor, and all that other shit off of $1,200 a month. Oh, and if you happen to work, as I do, I only work part time. I can't deal with the foolishness full time. It's an issue I have. Forgive me. I don't do stupid well. Stupidity, ignorance of the highest level bothers my senses. So, I can't do full time. So you're gonna garnish the wages. You're gonna garnish the Social Security. Tangerine Tyrant is already bankrupting this country. We, the taxpayers, pay for him to go and play golf. Ain't that a bitch? Pay this motherfucker. For what? What is he being paid to do? Why are our tax dollars paying for us to be butt fucked with no grease? Somebody help me understand. I'm sorry. Usually I'm more composed than this. I've only had one. No, my coffee. I have no idea where to begin in the thought processes of how to deal with what's coming next. However, here's what I do know. It is incumbent upon me to voice my frustration, which I've done. Now, now, I let it go. Change those things that you can and those things that you cannot. But the old folks say, let go, let God. Let it go. Let it go. Nothing you can do about it. You got the money? Nope. I ain't had it since I graduated. I'm going on 20 some odd years. Like I said, I toss a coin out here and there when I can. But I'm going to take care of my home first. My home being my vessel. I'm going to meditate and I'm going to pray within this temple. And I'm going to bring peace to myself. Because the things that are happening right now to the greater majority of us cannot stand if we stand against it collectively. We do it individually, but we do it with the collective in mind. So go somewhere and find your quiet space. Do what you do to Musa. I do what I do to Musa. And then I go from there. I did want to play a little bit from Roland Martin. I love him. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to play a little bit of this clip.
Whining and complaining, saying that, oh, Joe Biden, he didn't do enough to end student debt relief, even though he tried to get rid of all student loan debt relief with the U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. Supreme Court said no, and then he turned around and then they figured out within the rules how they could wipe out more than 150, upwards of $200 billion in student loan debt. And then people were still bitching and moaning about how they wanted him to wipe out student loan debt relief when it was already clear it didn't happen. So maybe if a bunch of those same people had voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, then that would have happened because then she would have appointed 3 Supreme Court justices. But that's another story. So what then happens? Folks sit on their asses. They don't vote. Or some vote for MAGA. And guess what we now get? This from the clueless press secretary Carolyn Levitt
Clueless.
about student loans. The Trump administration has announced we will put an end to Joe Biden's illegal student loan bailout attempts. No student loan has been referred to collection since March of 2020. That comes to an end. On May 5th, the department...
You're going to put an end to his attempts? That boat has sailed, bitch. Where you been? Why don't they educate this hoe? Somebody sit her down and educate her before she get up there and open that pie hole with that bullshit that comes out. It's exasperating, to say the least. We shall continue.
Education will resume involuntary collections for borrowers with defaulted federal student loans. The student loan portfolio controlled by the federal government is nearly $1.6 trillion, but fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers are in repayment. This is unsustainable, unfair, and a huge liability for American taxpayers.
Okay. Huge liability for American taxpayers. I'm a taxpayer. I still owe student loan debt. Okay. But you motherfuckers aren't helping. How are you? Between doggy, I know what it's called. Doggy, muskrat shit, and the tyrants crap. You done put people out of their jobs. Okay. You've closed the doors on many institutions and their funding. You shut all this shit down, and then you hollering about you gonna garnish somebody's shit. You gonna take somebody's stuff. As my boy on one of comes on Instagram, he says, things that irritate him. Okay, well, this shit right here, revolution. We shall continue.
He wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others. So why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly pay back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans? The Trump administration will never force taxpayers to pay student loan debts that don't belong to them. Student loan borrowers need clarity, and we're finally giving it to them.
No, you're not.
Borrowers will now be clearly expected to repay their loans, and those who default on their loan obligations will face involuntary collections. The government can and will collect defaulted federal student loan debt by withholding money from borrowers, tax refunds, federal pensions, and even their wages. America is $36 trillion in debt. We must get our fiscal house in order and restore common sense to our country. If you take out a loan, you have to pay it back. It's very simple. Really? Okay. Gotcha. Tell that when taxpayers Trump used $25 billion to give to farmers in last time because of his dumb tariff decision. Roxanne Garza, Director of Policy at Trust.
I just wanted y'all to hear that. I will put Mr. Martin's link to that video in the description box below. Idiots. The American taxpayer, those of us who pay taxes, we see our money being misused on the daily, not used for what it should be used for, or for what we thought it would be used for. We're paying this orange piece of crap to sit in the office. Isn't he a billionaire? Why is he even getting paid? Those millionaires and billionaires that sit in the House and in the Senate, you don't have a clue as to what the average person is going through. And unfortunately, you don't give a fuck. On top of that, you don't have a clue, clueless, and you don't care. Tragic. The things that mankind does to his fellow man. Well, this is M.A. Truth. I've had my piece today. Like I said, go back to self. I'm getting ready to go and generate some peace and well-being in my space. Burning some sage, stealing this new moon energy because the moon was new yesterday, so we're still vibrating in that, and we're going to be good. You're going to be good. We all going to be good. We're going to be better than what we presently are with this mayhem and foolishness. Call it out. Predatory lending. That's all it is. You guys have a good day. This is MA Truth. I'm out.